Hey guys, how's it going? And welcome to Rwanda. I've been here the last 7 days exploring this country. It's a tiny little country in the middle of Africa, and it's most famously known for the unfortunate genocide that happened in the 90s, but also the famous mountain gorillas. The mountain gorillas, there's about, I think, 600 or 700 of them left in the world. Rwanda is one of 3 countries these gorillas are in. So the national park here is called Volcanoes National Park, but it also kind of pours over into the Congo and Uganda as well. So I'm in the Rwanda side, and I actually went and filmed them today. It was an absolutely incredible experience, but in this video I wanted to talk about the beginning of our trip about a week ago when I went to Akagera National Park, and when I saw this on the itinerary I knew I needed a telephoto lens. Now, I've used a bunch of the Sony full-frame telephoto lenses before, and they're absolutely incredible, but they're also really expensive. So I was going to rent one for this trip, but I decided to kind of challenge myself a little bit and try to find something more affordable so I can make a video for you guys to talk about some of the alternatives that are out there for telephoto lenses. I found this Sony 55-210. It's about $125 US on eBay. I figured I'd order it and give it a shot. I knew that the autofocus would probably work and hopefully the stabilization as well. So this is the main lens that I use to shoot at Akagera National Park. Akagera National Park is known for giraffes, lions, elephants, all sorts of things. So I put this lens on my camera and I want to show you guys now my footage. I shot this from a Jeep that we were in, and I used a Gorilla Pod on top of the Jeep to kind of anchor it down and get a little bit more stable shots. The Jeep did slow down when I took these shots, so these are stationary shots. I'm gonna roll some footage for you guys to check out first. Look at the footage and see how clear it is and tell me what you guys think, and then I'm gonna tell you what I think after this. Alright, so now the results. I thought it was alright. It was very average. I might give it on a full frame, maybe like a 6 out of 10, maybe a 7 out of 10, 6.5 out of 10. You can definitely tell when you're using this lens for photography that it's not as good as a full frame. And one of the problems is that when you're shooting full frame, on my camera, on the A7 III, it's 24 megapixels. When you put this lens on, you're only going to get like 10 or 11 megapixels. So it essentially cuts the resolution in half. So you can't really crop in. Another bummer is that this is a 4.5 to 6.3 lens, so it's not that fast. It doesn't really work well in low light. It doesn't really work well for action photography or things that require really fast apertures. And so, yeah, those are kind of the downsides to it. And video, the fortunate thing for video is that the resolution isn't really downgraded like it is for photos. So photos, it goes from 24 megapixels to like 10 or 11, I believe. With video, you can still shoot in 4K cropped in on the A7 III, and you can shoot in 1080 because effectively, if you're only getting 10 megapixels out of this lens, it's still enough because 4K is only 8 megapixels and 1080p is only 2 megapixels. So yeah, so that being said though, I looked at the footage. Let's talk about video first because that's kind of more of my focus. Overall, I think it serves its purpose and it worked fine. For $125, the shots were okay. It wasn't stunningly sharp or super crisp, and I could tell that there was like some kind of soft spots to it and things. But I'm guessing that when you watch the video, you guys probably didn't read into it that much, or maybe you did because this is a video about cheap lenses, but I don't think in most cases people would have noticed, especially if they're watching it on YouTube. Maybe if it was a film in a movie theater, you'd be able to notice, but I don't think a video watching on YouTube, you guys will notice. Maybe you will. Let me know what you guys think below. But looking at it, I was like, I think I can still tell the story that I want to tell. The images aren't as nice as they could have been, but then again, if I didn't have this and I didn't spend the $125, I would have only been shooting on my Tamron 28-75 and I wouldn't have had any close shots at all. So I think if it's between not having the shot and having something to work with and telling a story, it works. That being said, like I said, it's a little soft. There's really no depth of field in any of the shots that I took. But I did get some close-up shots from some animals like giraffes and zebras and things that were a bit farther away. But yeah, I wish it was a little bit sharper. For photos, I wouldn't use this lens. It was, to go from 24 megapixels to 10, I mean, most iPhones and things shoot at that megapixel. So yeah, for photos, I mean, you could use it if you really wanted to. Maybe if you're just doing this stuff for fun or something like that, then I'm sure it would work fine for you. But yeah, for me, it's not fast enough. There wasn't really any depth of field. And I probably only use this for video and only if I didn't have, access to something else. Now, I know, like I said, this is a $125 lens for this trip. I mean, I also could have, I don't own a telephoto lens. I don't use them that often, so whenever I do use them for projects, I just rent them. So this kind of segues into renting lenses for the different types of trips that you guys go on. So if I'm going on like a specialty style trip, like a wildlife one, like typically in the past, I've rented telephoto lenses, I've rented fisheye lenses if maybe I want to do like a Northern Lights video and I want to shoot super wide and get like a 12mm lens. I'm probably not going to have any need to buy that, so I would just rent it. I use lensrentals.com. There's other sites. This isn't paid, but I just like the fact that I can rent stuff for trips if I don't want to throw down the money. Because I mean, especially some of these telephoto lenses, they're super expensive. So if I can rent one for 4 or 5 days and use that, I think it's a pretty solid option. And then the step down from that would be buying something like this and trying this out. I don't know if I'm going to hold on to this or not. Maybe I will because it's only $125 and it's better than nothing. But yeah, I mean, it worked. I think I could still tell a story, and at the end of the day, it's not really the quality of all this, the lenses and all these other things that help tell the story. It's the shots and the composition and all these other things and shooting at the right time of day. And I think with this lens, I'll be able to tell the story that I want to tell. If you're strapped on cash, this is about 125 bucks used on eBay. Maybe 200 or 250, I think, new. I can't remember off the top of my head. This lens would probably perform a lot better on one of the A6300, A6500. Thanks so much, guys. I'm gonna make some more content from Rwanda that's gonna come out very soon. This country is blowing my mind. It's absolutely incredible. Maybe I should do something on these gorillas as well. I mean, this was an experience of a lifetime. I've never felt so much energy pulsating through me, and I actually loved it. It was 1000% worth it. So I'll leave it there. There's a lot of noises around me, as you can hear, and I will see you guys next week.